Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Welcome to the Full 100. Another exciting episode today, guys. Fabulous show today. You're going to love this. Guys, I'm not even going to say no more. Without further ado, let's get to it. Guys, I'm starting with QAnon again. The video I put out yesterday, firstly, I want to send a shout out to my right-wing nuts who give you the thumbs down. I love it when I see a couple of thumbs up, because the good people, they read it and they go, yeah, they on it. Those who are hating what we're doing, they give the thumbs down. Yeah, so I'm loving you guys thumbs down. Please keep it coming. I'm loving you guys comments. It just shows how nutty you are. But guess what, keep watching. I'm loving it. So that aside, I've got news for you, you right-wing nuts. Guess who's the leader of the faction? You know, you got your QAnon, and you lost cult believe that there are celebrities who kill babies and eat them, who are pedophiles and they abuse babies and stuff, and Oprah Winfrey's in there, Bill Gates, John Soros, Obama, Biden, all the good guys are in it, right? And Trump was the guy who was nominated to fight them, to get rid of them, right? To drain the swamp, as you guys call it, right? Well, I got news for you. Trump is a double agent, guys. Trump's a double agent. What happened is, Trump's houses, Mar-a-Lago in Florida and places like that, that's the epicenter of people who eat children. That's the epicenter when they're molesting children. All of that Satan worshipping. Trump's the leader. They just fooled you lot. What they've done, if they sent their leader over to you lot's side, the QAnon side, that's fighting that lot, and they've made you guys pick him as your leader. Let me tell you what I'm saying. It's a bit like the British Parliament in the Second World War nominating Hitler to be the Prime Minister of the UK.
Well, the alleged accomplice of Jeffrey Epstein, suspected of helping Epstein's sex trafficking of underage girls. So what is the relationship between Ghislaine Maxwell and President Trump? CNN's Pamela Brown has more.
President Trump's return to the briefing room took an unexpected turn with his response to a question about Ghislaine Maxwell, arrested earlier this month on multiple charges related to sexual abuse of underage girls by her longtime companion, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. She has pleaded not guilty.
I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly.
The warm wishes for Maxwell are bringing renewed scrutiny to Trump's relationship with her and Epstein, who government officials say died by suicide in his jail cell last year after being charged with sex trafficking. Some Republican lawmakers reacted to Trump's comments on Twitter, saying, "This is unacceptably obtuse for a woman accused of the most morally depraved of crimes. And she is despicable, and he needs to say that."
I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is.
Trump says he's known Epstein since the late 80s, and pictures from the 90s show the president with Maxwell, who became Epstein's girlfriend, associate, and allegedly his madam. One picture shows Trump with Maxwell in 1997, then again in early 2000 at Trump's Palm Beach property, Mar-a-Lago, with his wife, Melania, and Epstein. Another picture shows Trump with Maxwell that same year at a New York fashion show, and then again with model Naomi Campbell. Epstein's one-time business partner, Stephen Hoffenberg, who spent 18 years in jail for a Ponzi scheme, told CNN today, "There's no dispute. They knew each other well," adding, "He liked her and she liked him." In a 2002 interview with New York Magazine, Trump showered praise on Epstein, calling him a, quote, "terrific guy," and saying he's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. After Epstein was arrested last year, Trump had a different tune, claiming he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago years before.
He was a fixture in Palm Beach. I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan.
Prosecutors say Maxwell went into hiding over the last year as more victims came forward, alleging she lured them in and groomed them to be sexually abused by Epstein. Alleged victim Virginia Giuffre has claimed Maxwell recruited her in 1999 while she was a locker room attendant at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort.
Guys, do you know, he couldn't even pretend, could he? I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell she's being charged. She's under custody. She's in prison for child molestation, for pedophilia. She's for being a madam that recruits kids for Trump and his pals to abuse since the 80s, bros. Right? How the hell do you not see that he's a decoy? He's the double agent. Oh my God, you guys got fooled. And just in case you missed a bit, I'm going to replay this bit. Take another look at what he said about himself and Epstein. Take a look again, just to remind you.
In a 2002 interview with New York Magazine, Trump showered praise on Epstein, calling him a, quote, terrific guy, and saying he's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
So, who's the pedo, guys? Is it Obama or is it Trump? Who should QAnon be attacking? Oprah or Trump? I'll leave that to you guys. And I'll tell you what, you see, Epstein's suicide, it wasn't no suicide. He, I'm guessing, was gonna get Trump to give him a pardon, just like Trump's pardoned half the criminals that they put away since, that were working with him, that they put away since he's been in power, because they're all crooked and dodgy. I believe he was gonna ask for a pardon, and Trump said, no, I can't be seen pardoning you. I'm now a member of the QAnon. I can't pardon you. Then I'm gonna blow my cover. So guys, I look forward to your responses tonight. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, you the guys that like to say that babies are being eaten by other people when it's Trump and your lot that eat babies. Unreal. Let me move on to another subject now, a little bit more serious. And this is about the troops that the pedophile Trump has been putting on the ground in cities. So now he's gone to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Albuquerque, New Mexico is like Wales. It's very much rural type of area, and very few black people other than in Albuquerque, which is where the concentrated the metropolitan city of that state is. Guys, I want to put a call out to my American friends, right? Because I'm thinking something, and I you know, I have a platform now. I can put it out there. Now I can't get to the people I need to get to, but this might get to them from, who knows, cyberspace. It might reach them. But if anybody knows how to get hold of Ice Cube, Ice-T, you know, those guys who are respected by the road guys, by the street guys, by the gangsters, tell them to put a statement out. Tell them to call a truce, because I tell you why I'm saying this. I believe, that, for example, you guys know what I thought, that a lot of that shooting was being done by covert operators on the right wing, on the Trump side, trying to create havoc because he's winning on all fronts. Sorry, he's losing on all fronts. And yesterday's video that I put out, I didn't have that evidence because it was a drive-by. What I didn't say on here was, who's to say that the actual guy whose funeral those 14 people who attended were shot? Who's to say that that guy who died in a drive-by was not shot in a drive-by by elements of Trump's people, and then the word was put out that their enemies did it? Just in case I'm right, I'm asking anyone who can reach, people who can talk to these guys on the streets, tell them to put the guns and the knives down for a month. No one fires not even a blank shot for a month. Let's see what happens. Because if nobody is firing shots and no one's at war with each other, then nobody should die, right? However, if they call a truce and people are still dying, then we have a solid case against those like Trump. So I ask all my American friends who get this, if you have a connect somehow to voices that can be heard, Black Panther voices, call a truce. Call a truce right now and tell them it's for the bigger good, because Trump's putting troops in your states. For me, I can see him stealing the election. I can see him creating havoc so there's confusion come election time, so that elections are postponed, or creating havoc to where where he labels himself the law and order person. He still will lose, mind you, but how many people will die in that in leading up to that? Or third option, create enough havoc, put troops on the ground. Come election day, he loses, and he locks down the states and locks down the country and puts troops at all points and retains power like a dictator. America is already a banana republic. You are very, very, very close to being a dictatorship now. That's my message to you guys. Please take a look at this video.
Hundreds of federal agents to Chicago and Albuquerque in what he says is an attempt to crack down on crime. Well, federal agents are already in Portland, Oregon. These are the scenes there. And they were sent to tamp down on protests. But local officials say it's actually caused a rise in tensions and violent clashes. On Wednesday, the president described some Democratic-led cities as rife with crime and violence, saying he had no choice but to get involved.
In recent weeks, there's been a radical movement to defund, dismantle, and dissolve our police departments. Extreme politicians have joined this anti-police crusade and relentlessly vilified our law enforcement heroes. To look at it from any standpoint, the effort to shut down policing in their own communities has led to a shocking explosion of shootings, killings, murders, and heinous crimes of violence. This bloodshed must end. This
growing concern among some city mayors. Chicago's mayor slammed the president, said she will not allow legal action to stop any unconstitutional actions.
What he cares most about is trying to change the subject from the failure of his leadership on an issue of a pandemic of our lifetime where people are suffering. If he cared about cities, if he cared about Chicago, there are meaningful ways that the president could actually help. Instead, it's denigrate, divide, and disparage. That's not leadership.
Go back on Trump again. You ready for this? You've been hearing about the cognitive test. You know what? The thing about this, the thing about Trump, right, is even when you want to move on from the story, right, he really doesn't know the story is not good for him. And then he keeps on and on. So it's like he does something, he gets criticized. Most people just walk away because they think, oh gosh, yeah, that was a cock up. Not him. It's non-stop. Now, this thing's gone to another level now. So let me just let the video speak for itself. Take a look, guys.
The president's obsessive, unironic, and revealing fixation on a cognitive test that he took.
So the last time I was at the hospital, probably a year ago, I said to the doctor, it was Dr. Ronnie Jackson, I said, is there some kind of a test, an acuity test? And he said there actually is, and he named it, whatever it might be. And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult, like a memory question. It's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. Okay, now he's asking you other questions, and then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV. If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. And that's not an easy question. In other words, they ask it to you, they give you 5 names and you have to repeat them. and that's okay. If you repeat them out of order, it's okay, but
you won't believe that's a president, right? No, honestly, I'm not going to break this down. I'm going to show you the next clip, a 24-second clip of the journalist breaking it down real sweet. Take a look.
The president's obsession with this is astounding, and more astounding is that he seems to think that this 2-minute rant makes him look good.
it is astounding, John. It's sort of like if I were to touch my finger to my nose or walk in a straight line for 10 yards, that I would stand up and say, that proves I'm a world-class athlete.
Say no more. Say no more. No, that I shouldn't even be saying say no more. Someone should be telling Trump, just say no more. Just leave it. Just leave it. Guys, I'm going to finish up my last video now. Those of you who wear the Make America Great Again hat, let me tell you something. That interview, not the clip I showed, in one of the clips he said something about he's glad they're saying about how bad Corona is and how Mexico's not allowing US citizens in the country. And he says, yeah, I'm glad I built that wall. If I hadn't built the wall, they'll be coming in there. They said, no, Mr. President, no, they're not letting you in the country. Guys, look, he's not just turned your country to a banana republic. Take a look at how powerful an American passport is today. Take a look.
Are still welcome in the world right now, given our rates of coronavirus here in the United States. And it's easier, frankly, to look at a map of the globe of where, these are the countries where we are allowed to travel than if we had to highlight the countries that have some sort of travel restrictions on us. You can see it has gotten very slim pickings for Americans around the world. What do you make of this?
Well, I hear Albania is very nice this time of year, Allison. Look, I mean...
Make America great again, my ass. Right? Jeez, the guy's taken the US in the space of 3.5 years from the best passport near enough in the world to the worst. They can't go nowhere now. Nobody wants you in the world. People are pitying you. Guys, I'm going to call it a day, okay? I hope the show's been enlightening. To my right-wing friends, you need a new leader, not Trump. You need to elect someone. He's a double agent, my friends, okay? So, guys, until tomorrow, Friday, take care and have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye now.